I'd mentioned this area on the last video, or actually the first one that I made on Quaker Hill. This is the area right here where my boys and I used to sit right along the front of this, not back in it, but just out here, and call foxes from up that way. You'll get a chance to see the area when I walk out of here. But Zach and I was here 2 days ago. We came up the same way I did today, walked up through the road from the pipe gate down there that the Game Commission put across the way. Parked the vehicle down there, walked up here, went on out to the full extent of the road, Actually, it's not a road, it's just a mowed trail. They mow it with a bush hog. And we took it to the full extent, which emptied out into this right up there, as you'll see when we go. And we went up the trail a little ways further and then got off, went into the woods to cut off a big circle like sticking out of the woods, cut across it straight through the trees to get to the Quaker meeting house. And when we came back up around, I'd mentioned aloud that the fork that we were seeing, I was going to take the one to the right, and something looked like a little man from the this is real, this happened right here. I didn't see him that day, but we came around after walking up to this Y. I was a little bit winded, so I sat down on a log that had fallen across the trail, not all the way, excuse me, wasn't long enough to reach the other side, but there was a tree back on the other side that bent. It was a beautiful bend, come all the way over, and this tree was on top of it. Even though this one couldn't even reach over there to pull it down, that tree somehow had been pulled down and shoved under this fallen tree, and we sat down on it. And I talked a little bit on the tape there, and across from me, straight out in front of me, was this little man down in the woods. Looked like he was about, I don't know, maybe 9-8 inches tall, and was going like this, like he was pulling something down and holding it and even stepping on it, tying it, and then grabbing a piece that went through and pulling it like this, and then putting another loop. And I didn't see it, not till I went home and started editing the video did I see what was happening across that clearing. And I didn't see it that day while we were out here, but something else happened that day. I think whatever he was fashioning and making, he got back in the woods, came down this way a little bit, and then went out and laid it on the easiest part of the trail to walk on, which was a high rate of probability that I would discover it, because I did. Zach and I were walking along, and I went, hey, look at this. I picked it up, and it was fashioned out of vines. And it went around in concentric loops and then opposing loops and pulled through like he was going to make a half of a square knot, and then continued on around, and when it was done, it was intricate. It was a work of art. It was beautiful. But it was all one piece, and it looks like something about 8 inches long would be pulled. And when I called it up on a computer and I zoomed in, and if you've got any experience on that, you know the more you zoom, the less resolution you have. So I was looking at everything behind this little guy was in a worse situation or of focus than he was. So I took him to a part where I could still see that it was him, and I was watching him, and as I looked up behind him, I could see an eye, and it was moving too, and it looked like the head of a squirrel or a rabbit, which was much bigger than him actually. And it looked like he looked up at it one time in a little bit of disgust and was telling it to hold that. I told you, hold it. So then he let go of what he was doing and got the other one and was pulling around. It seemed like something was holding it for him. And I think he left it on a trail for us. And I found it, and I backtracked to find him. And as we were coming down, excuse me, I want to show you. We were about ready to drop over the top of that green rise. Something flew out of the woods on the side that he was before. Only when I'd seen him, he was up that way about 60 yards. But right in this area, just where the green is on top, something flew in a pattern like this across from that side to this side into the woods. So, today, I'm bringing a little gift for them. Uh-oh, somebody wants me on the phone. Sorry, hang in there. Phone call was my son Brian, and I just got finished talking with him and walked up on the rise that I showed you a little bit ago, and over there far into the green under those trees is where I just made that little talk just a minute or so ago. So I'm going to head up this way and see if I can drop off that gift. I don't know to put it on the log that I was seated on, or to put it over at the edge of the woods where I saw the little guy twisting a vine and fabricating that thing. I still have it. It's at home on my gun cabinet. Well, there is a fallen tree that I was seated on. And there's that tree that has a loop in its limbs that this little guy was below, dancing around with that vine. And now I don't see him here, but I see green vines. And somebody left an old beer can this far up in the woods. Right there. Oh, you know, I don't know to put the stone I brought up there, which some passerby might find, or put it into a place where he chose to be while he was making that little gift for me. Starting to rain. So let me show you. Got it in this pouch right here, if I can get it out. My wife and I had the grandkids up on Laurel Ridge in the mountains, I don't know, 2 months ago, something like that. And they were climbing in some old stone ruins of bluestone mine complex that had been just abandoned. I think in the late 1800s it was abandoned. And Zach and I were talking, and I looked past him and I saw this lying on a boulder. And suddenly Zach turned around and said, "Hey, Pap, look at that." So he saw it too. It has little mushrooms painted on it. And on one side it's got something that looks like 7AF on it. Now, I didn't know what it was, so I got on, I showed it to my daughter when we got home, and she said, yeah, there's groups that are doing that now. And she said they're on Facebook, and they go placing these around to try to lift somebody's day. In case somebody's having a bad day, you find something like that, it's a happy thought. It cheers you up. So that's what I thought it was, and I still think that's what it is. But I think this is really appropriate for these little people, especially after, you know, the one they gave me, which is of nature, and this is a stone, and it's got a picture painted on it of mushrooms. I'm thinking about putting it at the base of this tree right here, because I think he was right here, and he was working, trying to tie that, but when you look through a camera, wow, it looked like he was twice the distance from me. But I think he was right here. I don't know exactly where to put it. I don't want to lose it. I want these people to have it. And you folks, if you're hearing me, this is for you. I don't think he was right in the middle of that greenbrier, because if you look at the video, you'll see him making big arm gestures and swings trying to pull the vine down. And I think he was in that more bare spot right there. So I'm thinking about putting this over in a more clear place where those two trees go together. You guys around here, if you're here now, I want you to know I appreciate what you did the other day. Thank you very much for that gift. that's in my office by my old Mac computer. Now here's one for you. I hope you get it before a deer hunter or somebody comes through the woods, fox trapper or something, and they happen to see it. I tried to put it on an angle where you could easily see it from the woods, but a little bit of a side angle from the right of way. It's yours. Please take it. It came from the Laurel Mountains, high up on the ridge above Uniontown, placed about 40 miles from here. But you keep it. I appreciate you revealing yourself to me. It was an amazing shock, and even some of my friends and acquaintances from distant places across the world appreciate it also. They love the woods and they love you folks. So if you're in communication with any in your family and your kind and your friends in a place called Great Britain, have them to contact these folks. They are very appreciative of you and will not hurt or harm you in any manner, shape, or form, nor take advantage of you, just like I would never. It would be nice if we could communicate more clearly and on a personal level. So I took the time today to come out, bring you back this gift, because actually we love you. That's the bottom line. That's the truth. So you all have a good day. I'm heading back now. It has really been a pleasure to be interfacing with you. All you guys, even the other ones. I don't know who it was or what actually it was that flew across the trail down there in front of me, but I know it wasn't a butterfly and it wasn't a moth, because whatever it was had wings and arms and a head similar to mine and long legs, and I saw it. Thank you for being there and for revealing yourself. Catch you next time. Well, it's raining a little heavier now. I think I better take this opportunity to walk back to the vehicle before it starts raining real hard. And if it does quit, maybe I'll have a chance to stop somewhere else while I'm driving back home. At least I'll be in the vehicle in case it does get real bad. Okay, so that's what it looks like if you was walking up the trail. There's not too much there for a person to see. Nope. And if you're coming up out of the woods, or if you're already up here and shifted so that I can't see you, but if you already are here, you know where it's at. Oh, here we go, heading back. Well, instead of going the way I always go, down and out through the green, I'm going to cut a chunk of it off on the way back this time by going through the trees. Tree break right there. I see a bend down below me. It leans all over the place. Well, I can hear the wind picking up now. A steady noise all through the woods of the wind rushing and the leaves hitting the ground. I think we're predicted to have some rain this evening. That's what said on the television, the weather. People are moving. Wow. I know that didn't grow there. Or anywhere near here. That old thing was brought in here, I bet. Oh, it's pretty heavy. Yep, but it was brought in. Let's see if I can get down through here. I see a flat place there. It looks like maybe at one time it had been a logging road. I want to see if I can drop on it and follow it out to the left, hoping that I'll come up on a way to get onto the road that goes down to the vehicle I left down there. So I'm going to try to get down through here. Well, I've walked down over the hill too far following those structures and tree bends and things. I got down way below where I wanted to. Now I'm turning back uphill to hit the old trail to follow it down to the Jeep, and to the Escape. And I think the edge of that horizon right there is the trail, as you see it going out through the woods. It sure doesn't take it very long to start resembling the Smith Hollow again. Look at all those gnarly vines. Oh, I just now heard another robin. Wow. Today is November 30th. It's a Thursday. And it's about 4 o'clock. Another warm day for November. The robins haven't even took off to migrate yet. Yeah, that is the road, or the trail. Once I get up over this bank, it'll just be a slow walk down to the vehicle, about 150, 200 yards. Down that way is the escape. I came up through here, and if you'll remember, went right up over here, was going to go that way. Out there at the end, this trail that's mowed goes on around and goes up into that field. But I took a shortcut here, went up to it. Coming back, I'd cut through the trees, and I tried to come out on the end right there from the trees. But some things I was looking at drew me down below, and I missed this. And with the briars in here, you can't even see it. And I came through down there. And that just got increasingly worse. Reminded me of the area that I'd seen here before walking in. So I knew I had to turn and come up here. I just didn't know how far. But got it now. So here we go. Yep. That's it. Well, there she is, the escape. Okay, I'm here, escape. You ready to go? All right, here we come.